dark festival begins. The bell's echo lingered, then died away completely. And in that very instant, the square came alive. Hundreds of jack-o'-lanterns were raised high, their crimson flames flickering wildly, merging into a blazing path that led straight toward the shadowed church at the end of the street. The crowd began to move, step by step, in slow, heavy rhythm, like a single living organism drawing everything into its orbit. A shrill trumpet pierced the air, blending with the pounding drums, heralding the start of the town's parade. Lydia's group was swept along with the others. Each of them was handed a thick, heavy mask, carved into a grotesque human face, its mouth torn open to the ears, eyes hollow and murky like those of a drowned corpse. The moment they put them on, breathing became suffocating, as if another layer of skin had sealed tightly around their heads. At first, the atmosphere still carried the liveliness of a festival. Pumpkin lights blinked like thousands of burning eyes, casting their glow on the crooked wooden houses. Cheers and songs echoed through the square, swirling together into a sea of blinding light and chaotic sound. But soon, the rhythm began to distort. The lively music slowed, and the trumpet dragged out sharp, screeching notes like strings stretched to their breaking point. The drums pounded deeper and slower, each beat heavy as if struck by a giant heart buried beneath the ground. With every thud, Lydia's chest trembled as though an invisible hand had slammed against her sternum. Then, within the moving crowd, several figures tilted their heads unnaturally. Masks slipped off their faces and shattered upon the ground, revealing what lay beneath. They were no longer human. Some faces were pulp and rot, black flesh crawling with white maggots writhing in hollow sockets. Others were torn wide open, revealing nothing but a dark void from which came a raspy, wind-like moan that sounded as though it rose from a grave's depths. The horrifying part was, no one screamed. No one even flinched. The parade continued, calm and steady, as if such sights were perfectly ordinary. Hannah trembled violently, her cold hands gripping Lydia's arm. "Lydia, I can't take this anymore," Jonas whispered, voice cracking. "It's probably just makeup. Really realistic makeup." But even he didn't believe what he was saying. Victor, on the other hand, had lost patience. His breath came fast, sweat pouring beneath the suffocating mask. He tugged at it repeatedly, voice strained with frustration. "I can't breathe. Damn it. I'm taking this thing off." "Don't," Lydia screamed, the first rule from the cursed parchment slicing through her mind like a blade. But it was too late. Victor ripped the mask from his head and threw it to the ground. His flushed face gleamed with sweat as he gasped for air, like a prisoner breaking free from confinement. In that instant, the crowd around him froze. The drums went silent. The air itself held its breath. Then, guided by some unseen command, every masked face slowly turned toward Victor. Hundreds of pale, lifeless eyes, murky, hollow like bottomless pits, fixed on him in unison. Without a word, without a sound, the sea of people began to advance. Step by step, slow, heavy, unstoppable. Victor didn't even have time to react before two cold, wax-like hands clamped down on his shoulders from behind. Then came more, dozens of hands reaching from the mass, grabbing, pulling, dragging him into the suffocating crowd. He screamed, thrashing wildly, his voice breaking apart in panic. "Let go! You're insane! Somebody, help me!" "No! Victor!" Lydia lunged forward, but Hannah seized her just in time. The crowd had already closed around him, forming a dense ring that swallowed him whole, erasing him from sight as if he had never existed. His screams pierced the night one last time, then warped, choked, and faded into a trembling rasp, before vanishing completely. When the crowd finally moved on, a cold emptiness remained in the center of the square. There, where Victor had stood, was only a black stain of blood, thick and slick like oil, seeping slowly into the cracks of the ancient stone. The metallic stench filled the air, clawing into Lydia's throat until she nearly gagged. Around them, the masked figures bowed their heads once more and resumed their march in the slow, steady rhythm of death. The bell tolled again, this time lower, slower, like the fading heartbeat of the town itself. Lydia stood frozen, her nails digging deep into her palms as a single line from the cursed parchment echoed endlessly in her head. Do not remove your mask once the festival begins. Victor hadn't obeyed, and now he was gone, as if he had never existed at all. Part 4. The Doppelganger Ghost in the Dark Festival. The air grew thick after Victor's disappearance, suffocating the three remaining friends. Hannah clutched Lydia's arm so tightly that her nails dug deep into the flesh. Jonas's face was drained of all color, his eyes hollow, vacant, his mind on the brink of collapse. All three of them longed to escape, yet with no visible way out, they could only helplessly move with the crowd, afraid that any wrong step, any deviation, might doom them to vanish like Victor. And then their masks began to change. The hard, painted surface started to crack, then melt, turning translucent like glass. Beneath it, their true faces were revealed. Hannah's pallid, twisted by terror, Jonas's trembling, panic-stricken gaze, and Lydia's own drenched, lifeless face glistening with sweat. Among the sea of expressionless masked figures, their uncovered visages glowed like cursed marks, exposed, fragile, and utterly alone. The red blaze of the jack-o'-lanterns spilled across the cobblestone square, throwing jagged shadows underfoot. Lydia lowered her head, trying not to meet the gazes of those around her. But in one unguarded moment, she looked up, and the air froze in her lungs. Just a few steps ahead, within the crowd, stood a girl who looked exactly like her. Every feature mirrored, every contour of her face, the curve of her lips, even the faint tremor in her breath. It was as if Lydia were staring into a mirror, except for one horrifying difference. The reflection was smiling. That pale, stretched grin was too wide, too cold, too humanly wrong. Then, the figure slowly raised one hand, its fingers chalk-white and thin, and curled one toward Lydia in a beckoning motion. Come here. Lydia staggered back, heart hammering violently. In her mind, the fourth rule from the parchment carved itself into her thoughts, word by dreadful word. If you see someone dressed exactly like you, stay away. They want to live, and only one of you will remain. No, this can't be real, Lydia whispered, her voice trembling. Hannah tilted her head to ask something, but before she could, the crowd ahead split apart, forming multiple narrow paths. Streams of people began to drift in different directions, as if divided by an unseen colossal hand. In the chaos, the group was torn apart. Lydia was pushed sideways, Hannah's hand slipping from her grasp. When she spun around, gasping for breath, both Hannah and Jonas had vanished into the shifting sea of twisted masks and flickering pumpkin lights. "Jonas! Hannah!" Lydia shouted, her voice breaking. But the only reply was the shrill, broken wail of a trumpet cutting through the air. Meanwhile, Jonas was being swept away by the crowd, his feet barely finding ground between the lifeless, shuffling legs around him. Each desperate step felt like gambling with his own fragile existence. And then, beneath the pounding drums and wailing horns, a voice slipped softly into his mind. It was tender, familiar, impossibly gentle. "Jonas, my dear boy." The voice called him by the childhood nickname his mother used to whisper when she sang him lullabies. It wasn't just a sound. It was a memory. Warmth flooded his chest, tight and aching. Under the red lantern glow, a figure appeared. A thin woman, face lined with years, eyes soft and kind, posture heartbreakingly familiar. Jonas stumbled back, trembling. "Mom," he breathed, his voice breaking. She had been gone for years. He'd never made it in time to see her one last time before she passed. For so long he had dreamed of her embrace, her forgiveness, her gentle words. And now, here she was, standing before him, her voice as soothing as ever. The woman extended a trembling hand toward him. In her palm was a all-old embroidered handkerchief, the very one she'd made for him when he was little. Its familiar scent, menthol and old cotton, wrapped around his memories like a ghostly lullaby. "Come home, my son," she whispered softly. "Come home with me."